This little book is your passport to Paris, Nova Scotia, Dublin, and even the duty-free shops. Today's travel video is about all things passport. We're going to go into the safety, what you need to know when you go internationally, how to keep it safe while you're traveling in another country, along with one other piece of paper that you should bring with you that we often forget about. First thing to know about your passport is it can now be used domestically for those of us that haven't gotten the real ID. If you don't want to go make that appointment at your DMV, which can take a few months to get an appointment. My daughter just did it. She reserved it about 2.5 months ago. Your passport can be used as that real ID to go through for domestic travel, which is kind of nice. Number 2 is to keep your driver's license and your passport in separate locations in your bag. So on the off chance that your possessions or something is lost or stolen, you're not going to lose everything in one fell swoop. It goes along for your credit cards, debit cards. Try and keep those in separate spots, whether you put one credit card, your driver's license, and some cash in your travel wallet. You keep your passport deep in your bag or your hotel safe. And then you keep another credit card, cash, or debit card in, say, a fanny pack or with maybe your travel partner. The third piece of passport safety is to make a copy or take a photo to keep on your phone in your hidden section that can be locked. Make a copy of, really what you need is the barcode that's down here on the last page. That would be enough that if it got lost or stolen and you had to go to the embassy, that's enough information that they can go on to get you a replacement. But if you want to back up to the backup, take a picture of that first photo page and the last page of the barcode. Both of those, that if it does get lost or stolen, when you go to the embassy, it gets that process of replacement much quicker. If you don't know already, on your iPhone, you have a hidden folder. And what you can do is any pictures you take on your phone, you can put it in that hidden folder, and then it needs a passcode or your Face ID for that to pop up. Should something happen to your phone, no one can readily get into that. If you're not that tech savvy with your phone, you don't want to go through all those steps that I showed you, then you can just make a good old-fashioned paper copy. Just make sure that you keep that in a separate spot from your passport and that it's well hidden or locked up in your hotel safe, someplace that's going to be safe. Okay, tip number 4 is protective of your passport. It holds a lot of information, which I'm sure you already know. When you apply for a passport, all the information you have to give, well, that's going to be encrypted into your passport. To dispel some of the fear-mongering out there, your passport is most vulnerable when it's wide open. Like, that would have the most information. Like, if someone should be near you and skim it, that's when it's not RFID protected. Always keep it closed until you're going right through customs. Then you don't have to worry about it. And as far as when they are talking about your passport being skimmed, they have to be within a few inches with the passport wide open to get that information. And also, the newer passports, it's encrypted. So even if they were to skim your information, it's not going to pop up all your information on their skimming machine. So it's pretty difficult to get your passport taken virtually or digitally. Now, someone stealing it, whole different ball of wax. I've seen a lot of like passport covers, and they say they're RFID protected and everything. This is my daughter's. She has one and it's cute. That's great. If you want to get one like that, perfect. I've always just traveled with my passport. And when we had our kids would put just a piece of tape on the back identifying whose is whose. So when I hand them back out as we're going through customs, it's quick and it's easy. So whatever works for you. If you like the cute, there's a bunch of them on Amazon. Some even have where you can put your Apple AirTag on there as a tracking device. That's great. Other ones, when you open them up, like you can put cards in there so it's all in one place. That's nice. However, like I said in previous tips, make sure you keep some of that separate so it's not all gone in one swoop. We are all in a rush when we get off the plane and we know we're going through customs, but this just happened to my nephew when we were coming back from Italy, trying to be proactive, get his passport ready, because we had, I think, about an hour and a half connection, which seems like a long time, but when you have to go through customs twice, that time gets eaten up. So he had pulled his passport out while we were still sitting on the plane. As he was gathering the other things out of his seat, he set it down on the seat and it slipped down between the side of the plane and the seat. We all got off the plane, and if you're familiar with those announcements that they say lately, is you're not allowed back on the plane, so make sure you have all of your things before you get off. Well, he didn't realize it until he was standing at customs. Little bit of a heart attack. His face was very white, panicked. He's like, how am I going to get back in the country? One, and two, where's my passport? Thankfully, it all worked out just fine. The flight attendant and the security were great. They went back on, they got him his passport. He's home. It's not stuck over in Italy. But just a reminder, don't take this out too soon. Like, leave it in your bag. You're going to have a long walk to customs, and then there's going to be the line. You're going to have plenty of time to get that passport out. 5 is when you're at your destination. You've gone out of the airport. You're now in beautiful Paris, France. Do a couple things, whatever you're comfortable with. Either put your passports locked in the hotel safe. You're not really going to need your passports as you're walking around. You may need them to exchange currency, but sometimes you only need your driver's license. You don't even need your passport for that. Sometimes for some tours you may have booked, you may need your passport. But for the most part, when you're just tootling around towns and seeing the sights, you're not going to need your passport. So you can leave it in your room if you're comfortable. Hotel safe. You can lock it inside your suitcase. If you're just hiding it, you're locking up your suitcase, or you're putting it in the safe. If you want to carry your passport with you wherever you go on vacation, then get one of those hidden belt bags that you can put down into your pants, under your shirt. You can have a crossbody that are the secured straps where you keep that close to you and it's down below. Anything that's not open pocket, snap with no zips, anything like that that makes it an easy target. That's another way to store your passport as you're traveling if you don't want to leave it in your hotel room. I'm going to break just for a second and to remind you that if you haven't got my freebie of 30 quick travel tips, you can grab that below in the descriptions and it'll be sent right to your inbox. And then that last piece of paper that I talked about in the beginning that's usually forgotten is a prescriptions list. So if you put your prescriptions in a pill case or you organize them into little travel pouches that for each day you put those in there, which is all great. But if they're not in the prescription bottles themselves, make sure that you either bring the paper that is attached to your prescription bag when you get it, or have all of that printed out on a piece of paper with images on your phone. If you have shots that you need to take, any of that, have that prescription by your doctor with you at all times when you're traveling. It just makes it easier to explain. A side note, any country you go to, your passport needs to be valid. Some is only 3 months past the date you're going to leave. Some is your passport has to be valid at least 6 months past the date. I always say if it's under 6 months, I start applying for my next passport, make sure you take the time to get that updated so that you're not stranded at customs because you don't have enough time left on your passport valid. Enough time of validity left on your passport. Happy travels. Oh, in the comments, I'm curious, are you team leave passport in the hotel locked up, or are you team that passport's coming with me everywhere I go on vacation? Put it in the comments because I'm just curious, and maybe a lot of us other viewers are curious too. I forgot something. Oh,